thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and introduce yourself, and who are you?
So my name is Ben Shelley, a longtime resident of Durham Region, born here in Oshawa, and I own several businesses here in town.
Nice, wicked, man. That's awesome. What are they?
So when I was 18, I started a contracting company called Paradisiac Building Group. So that's been around for 26 years now. 5 years ago, I started a plumbing business with a partner of mine. And then last year, I launched a coaching program and a mentorship program for other contractors that are trying to, figure out their business and get through their own pain points.
Nice. That's smart. That's super cool. I always think, I always say, if you can figure out a way to have your clients be your competitors be your clients, then you're just doubling, tripling, or at least getting extra revenue that way.
No,
right?
exactly. And you know what? I'm a big believer of raising the bar in our industry because contractors kind of get a bad rap. It's they're, technicians. Managing a business is not always their strong suit. Usually doing the technical work is. So, and because people are a little bit, have a stigma around hiring a contractor, they're a little bit nervous. Who do I trust? You kind of rolling the dice a little bit. So I'm a big fan of helping everyone get better. Just makes it better for us.
Very good. Yeah. No, and you said it too. Yeah. Definitely a bit of unease when choosing contractors, but you're a prime example of clearly people can trust you. You're, you're in the limelight a lot. You're going on podcasts and you have nothing to hide. And so probably all good praise and coming from you, obviously.
Oh, thanks. I like being transparent. I like helping others. So.
Wicked, man. That's great. So grew up in Oshawa. So you're a People of Durham. That's fantastic.
That's right. Yeah.
And what was it like, growing up and this and that? And did you always think that, you were going to do something in construction, or when was your Eureka moment as well?
Well, I grew up actually just in Curtis, actually, but right beside Oshawa. And my father was a plumber and a carpenter. So I grew up in the trades. I was around my whole life. But we also didn't have very much money growing up. So we lived in my grandmother's basement apartment. And my dad was a plumber, but he got in a really bad car accident when I was about 6. And he was in bed rest for a year. And so we were financially devastated as a family. And our church ended up paying our bills for over a year just to get through this time. It was very my mom worked part-time, looking after 3 kids at home. It was very difficult. So it was a challenge growing up as far as when and I went to school with kids whose parents were professionals and had these big homes. And I grew up in this basement apartment. So I always saw that contrast. It's kind of like that Arcade Fire song. You live in a diamond mine. It's all around you, but you can't touch it. So it's when I had a lot of ambition growing up, and we also grew up in a very, very strict religion. So it was not encouraged to look outside the religion. They wanted me to do this full time for the rest of my life. So it was a bit of a challenge contrast. When I was 18, I started my business, but I was working before that through high school. I was working for landscaping companies. I knew decks, I knew plumbing. New carpentry and stuff like that. So I know that I want to do something. I learned as much as I could. I worked for a few different companies to learn what I can about business. But the Eureka moment was probably when I was 17. I was working for a landscaper, and I was his foreman, young foreman. We're doing a front driveway and patio and interlocking brick and stuff like that. And I remember hearing him talk to the client about what we were going to do. And then he'd come back to us and he told us to do something different. And that clicked, being that's not very ethical. And so I, like a lot of technicians, I was like, you know what? I think I can do this better. So I didn't like that dishonesty piece of it. That didn't sit well with me. And so the next summer I started my own business, and I was going to be, transparent. I was going to be honest. I was going to be branded. I learned what I could from the other companies I worked with and started on my own.
Wow, that's wild. I'm trying to find similarities in my business, and what clicked to me was I'm imagining, I also shadowed many people in media too, and as if someone's telling me, yeah, the client said they really want 4K, but we're just going to film 1080p, okay?
Yeah.
That's crazy, and I would not be able to sleep at night.
No, exactly. Doesn't sit well.
Whew, that's wild, man. Good for you. So yeah, and you went and you learned as much as you could. And then the trigger point, though, what was the, how old were you when you first started your business? Or did you mention that?
So yeah, I was 18.
18.
I was 18 when I started it, and it was seasonal because I was doing decks and landscaping at the time. And so in the winter times, I was doing a plumbing apprenticeship.
Oh, nice.
So I was doing a plumbing apprenticeship through winters. And then eventually I was able to get enough work to keep me busy enough through the summer. And then I'd pick up part-time work in the wintertime.
Awesome.
And I did that for years.
Yes.
I did that for years, just trying to learn how do I grow this into
for
something
sure
that can sustain me and have a family one day.
Absolutely. What's winters now for you?
So just a bit of a backstory. So we're obviously busy full year round now, but there was a bit of an evolution to the company. So we were big into decks and landscaping, which is very seasonal. And then in 2010, we got out of landscaping and we just focused on decks, just decks. And again, it was still seasonal. And but we were able to establish a pretty good name for ourselves in the community of building decks. Like we won awards all over North America for decks that we built and designed right here in Oshawa. So we were able to get a really good name for building decks, but again, it was seasonal. And I had really good guys working for me, but then I'd have to lay them off in the wintertime. It was just, that's very difficult.
Yes.
And, I was still young, but, now we're getting into relationships. We want to get our own places. Like, and my staff is the same deal. We need consistent work, stability. So we tried a few different things over the winter times. We tried snow plowing. That was a nightmare. We tried building solariums and four-season rooms from a company out of Quebec. Didn't work that well. And I was naturally, I was already doing some renovations for companies. Like when we would do a backyard for a client, they enjoyed working with us. They enjoyed the professionalism. They would be like, hey, in the wintertime, do you want to come do a bathroom renovation for me? And so I did a lot of those. And then it finally clicked in 2016. We hooked up with a designer and we started getting more opportunities for doing renovations. And then so we switched the company entirely to renovations. And now that has kept us, busy year round and just been growing ever since.
Oh, that's great. Excellent. And so renovations, and then there's another business that does plumbing though too.
Yeah. So 5 years ago, a partner of mine, Phil, we started Fast Lane Plumbing right here in Whippy.
Nice. Oh, wicked. Yeah. Awesome. I have heard of this company. And I think that was actually the referral that came in from you too. Yeah. Super cool. That's excellent. How's that been in the past 5 years?
Good. It's been great. It's kind of back to my roots a little bit on the plumbing side, thinking my dad, hey, Dad, I own a plumbing company. Because my dad used to have his own plumbing company too.
Nice.
And he really struggled with running his business. I was very young, but I used to remember hearing my mom complain about it and the money and stuff like that. My dad was very honest, very hard worker, but had a lot of struggles running a business.
Yeah, totally.
So when we started Fast Lane Plumbing, I was very excited about it because I have family in plumbing. I come from a family of plumbers, so it was very synergetic with my family. Yeah, it was natural.
Wicked. That's awesome. Very cool. And obviously that goes hand in hand with the renovations as well too.
Yeah, because when we first started Fast Lane, they were doing all the all the plumbing for our renovation projects, Paradisiac. So it was kind of like an arm's length.
Yes.
It was very synergetic. But 2 years ago, we actually switched the business model at Fast Lane Plumbing, and we don't do construction anymore. We don't do renovations. We only do residential service.
Nice.
We changed the business model, and we have it down to a repeatable, scalable, scientific method.
Wicked. Fantastic. Do you guys do the whole everything, water softeners, RO systems, or
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wicked.
Everything to do with the home.
Nice.
Yeah,
so that's great.
Water filtration systems, sump pumps, waterproofing basements.
Yes, whether it's well water or municipal, of course.
That's
Wicked.
right.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. My wife showed me something. She showed me a picture of a home that had an entire RO system, which is just wild, massive tanks. And that's very pure living for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
But also incredibly expensive to do that.
Yeah.
I think you got to do, you got to change the filters once a year, give or take, or something.
There's maintenance to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys have that set up with your clients, which is nice return business too.
Yeah,
of course.
we actually have a membership as well. So we get a lot of people that buy into our Fastlane membership.
Yes.
And then they get discounts, they get priority service, they have their own hotline that they call.
Nice.
And just because we want to really build that loyalty.
Wicked.
With our
Oh,
clients.
fantastic. We have one RO little filter, little faucet
Yep.
In our kitchen. And then every time we need to, because we use it for our baby bottle water, right,
Yep.
for milk. And we go all the way down to the kitchen, go back upstairs. So we want a second one we have a second level laundry room. So I'll be going to you guys for that. Yeah, we need a second one just because it's just a quick scoot instead of going all the way down. It's such a hassle.
For sure.
Yeah.
We can help with that.
Wicked, man. That's great. Have you worked on what are some really interesting jobs you've worked on, whether it's been construction or water or both, and fully open ended?
Yeah, I think in the plumbing world, it's not really sexy, it's not really visual. But in my Paradisiac business, we come across lots of visually stunning types of projects and interesting projects to work on. Like additions, we've built theater rooms that would rival Cineplex or anything like that in people's basements. Like some pretty
sweet.
cool projects. Lots of custom features, lots of high design. and stuff like that.
Oh, that's great. Yes, I really appreciate. I go in so many homes, right? And whenever I see a theater, I'm like, this is.
I know.
I feel like every home needs a theater in some capacity.
It's true. It's true.
Even if it's just like 3 seats.
I actually have a theater in my house,
Yes.
and it was there when I bought the house,
Nice.
and it's very nostalgic. It's cool. They have old seating that was from Maple Leaf Gardens, and it's all stepped. It's all dark. It's got the sconces. Very cool. It's not soundproof at all. Not like the way that we build them nowadays, but I just love that nostalgic theater room. It's my son's favorite room in the house now.
Nice. That's great. Yeah. And there's a lot of science when it comes to building a room. Like if you want a theater and you want it to be not soundproof, but you want to dampen the anechoic like echoes and stuff, right?
Oh, there's a lot of science that you can put into it.
Right. I had a gentleman come up to me recently and say, why does my podcast sound so echoey? And he was literally in a glass office. It was like, well, see all this glass.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
bouncing everywhere, the sound, right? So you want carpet, and drywall helps a little bit.
Oh yeah, well there's even like different layers of drywall with acoustic sealant between them. We do own HVAC systems inside theater rooms just so that it doesn't travel through the ducts and that. Like there's a lot of science you can put into it if you want to go overboard.
Yes. Do you do also whole home humidifier installs? Like, that it's a simple thing. I'm assuming it's not a difficult thing.
Yeah, our HVAC, we have an HVAC trade that would look after stuff like that. But when we do full homes, whatever specific equipment that a homeowner needs to consider, then we bring in our HVAC partner.
This is going to lead to another question, which is essentially, what are some major things that people should think about? And one that comes to me was like a recent revelation. Some of my wainscoting was cracking, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And in our first home, we had a whole humidifier system that I didn't even know about even, which is kind of silly to think now that I look back at it, because you should probably turn it off in the summers. But, so like just controlling the levels of humidity between 40-50% ideally. And just that as an example, what are like some of the top things that people should think about when like, not just like, making homes look pretty, but like functional and,
Well, it really comes down to how the family uses the space. So like when we have a very unique process for when we go through client experience and planning projects, it's called a CPA, Comprehensive Project Assessment. So it's a service we offer whenever clients want renovations. And then we really make it bespoke to exactly how they live and how they want to use the space. So every home is different. But, it's funny you mentioned the humidifier system in the homes. That used to be very important, probably for like the last 40 years. It is still important if you have a lot of wall moldings, the wainscoting like you mentioned, but it used to be the most important when we used to install real hardwood flooring, which we don't see much anymore. Now it's engineered hardwood flooring or an LVP, so that humidity factor is not as important as it used to once be.
Oh, that's good to know. Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. I think maybe just for more health reasons, then humidity is good.
No, exactly. We do a lot of steam showers to kind of like compensate for that.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Very cool.
It's great. That's great having like a spa shower in your place.
Yes. So that's the ground zero. Someone approaches you, you find out who they are, what they're about, their lifestyle. Even if they do come with you with ideas and stuff, you backpedal and you say, perhaps like, okay, let's make your dreams come true, but let's make it also, by the way, did you know this and that? You should do this and that.
Exactly. We're essentially a guide for them. They're hiring us to be like their partner and planning this out because we have to balance it with budget. Yes. So it's their wants, it's their must-haves, and it's budget. So it's definitely a fine-tuning and guiding them in what we think would be the best direction from the go to still achieve their goals. Yeah, and keep it in budget.
Oh, fantastic. That's wicked. Do you work with a lot of things like real estate agents or people that give you recurring work, things like that?
Over the years, we have worked with quite a few real estate agents. We used to offer a service. We still do. We just doesn't come up as much anymore, where if a real estate agent was going to show a home to clients that prospectively going to buy it, and they were curious to know what the renovations might cost, that we would come and do a visit with them on one of their showings to kind of give them some budgets and ideas of what it could cost before they put an offer on the house. So we used to do that quite a bit, but obviously since the housing market has gone, up and down, that is not as much happen as much as anymore, but we still offer that service because it's handy. Because usually people are deciding, do I fix what I have or do I sell? And so if they are looking at selling, like usually it's a transitional move depending on what, funds are tied up. But when you're looking at an older home, usually because you're trying to look for something that is maybe more space but needs some fixing up, it's hard to know what those renovations cost. So that's when I come in, give them ideas, and give them a budget. This is what you could expect for these renovations so that they know that before they purchase a house.
That's amazing. I feel like you're just as important as like a mortgage broker because like a lot of people they go look at homes, they're like, without like a professional opinion, they're like, oh, like yeah, we'll fix that, and then but if you come in and you're like, oh no, that's a support beam, we can't.
Yeah, no, it's easy or something. Yeah, no, exactly, because you know not everyone knows the the intricacies of how a house is built.
Yes.
So we definitely help with that, especially when they want to add on an addition. That happens quite often.
Yeah.
They're looking at buying a house, but what would it cost to put an addition on it? So we will educate them realistically of what that could look like, just so they're informed before they make the biggest purchase of their life.
Yeah, totally. What are some common additions that people might do?
Most common that we come across is usually expanding their main floor and making kitchens bigger.
Wicked.
That's usually the number one. Quite often we'll do additions too that are expanding living rooms or even bedrooms and like primary en suites and stuff like that. We'll do bump outs for stuff like that. But usually it's kitchen that we're building into the addition spot.
Wicked, that's awesome. Would it be like fully custom or like a modular build that you bring in, or either potentially?
No, it would be full custom.
Oh, wicked.
There's
Cool.
different ways that we can build it. So it kind of depends on how the house is built, what their goals are, if they want a full basement or not. So there's different ways that we can build it. But again, we will make it bespoke to what their needs are and versus what their budget is.
No, it's great to know. Yeah. In our medium-term goals, we in our home, which is, I'm a culprit of, that's fine, we'll do this after and eventually. we like to do, either 5 or 10 years from now, kind of like a great room addition and just make the kitchen a little bit bigger, right? Which is funny because from our first home to where we are now, we almost like downgraded our kitchen, and that was like my wife's biggest kind of thing. It's still a nice kitchen, but it was like a maybe 10% downgrade, and it's like, the hell, we're buying a more expensive home, but the kitchen isn't as good. It's like, well, but we also got a lot of acres and trails and stuff,
and you can update some of those things down the road.
Yes, right. Yeah, even like with we always turn to AI, whatever. And thank God, I feel like divorces will go down a lot now that there's AI, because you just put it in, you put your argument into AI and it spits back the truth, right?
See, ChatGPT says I'm right.
Seriously, yeah. And I think what it said was, if you're happy with the land, you can always fix the house.
Exactly. Yeah, the location and the bones of the home are probably the most important things.
Yeah.
Anything else can be aesthetically improved.
Yes, definitely, yeah. And I love like these modern architecture where there's like curved arches now and things like that.
A lot of that old school charm is coming back.
Yeah,
I love the arched doorways and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like instead of everything being boxy, I feel like a spherical element to design kind of makes it feel like a little bit Mediterranean almost or something.
And it's way more cozy. Like we come across sometimes people want modern, but a lot less often. And because it's more cold, more minimalistic, but that charm of century homes is hard to beat.
True. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So we're kind of integrating that into like new renovations.
Awesome. Yeah. Do you do a lot of century homes?
Yeah. We do quite a few, and we've done quite a few. So it almost kind of makes us a specialist in older homes because they're built differently, a lot more surprises. And if you've never worked on a century home before, you're going to find all the surprises. So that is one of our specialties because we've done so much of it. We know pretty much what we're getting into, and then we can educate the client like specifically on it.
Yeah, totally.
So I like working on older homes.
Sweet. Yeah. Who knows? Like there could be a fuse box still or something. Oh, gotta get a breaker in there.
Come across everything. Asbestos.
Oh yeah.
No insulation in walls.
Yeah.
All kinds of things.
Wicked. Wow, that's wicked. Awesome. How far will you go for jobs?
So we stay in Durham Region.
Wicked.
So like we'll go to like the Pickering, Scarborough borderline. Uxbridge, we do quite a bit of work in Uxbridge,
Wicked,
Port Perry,
nice.
and then like out to Port Hope.
Nice.
So all within like all of my guys. I'm very fortunate. I have amazing crews and amazingly talented carpenters. Quite a few of them used to work for custom home builders like in Toronto, but they live here in Durham. So we were able to draw them to our company to make a great wage and work, be home in 10 minutes. So
That's
it's
awesome.
A big draw.
That's wicked. That's fantastic. Good for you.
We
man.
turn away work from the city. Sometimes that's unfortunate because, there could be a lot of money in the city, but it's not worth it sitting in traffic.
Trust me. Yeah. Even just like 5 years ago, it was manageable, but now it's not at all.
No.
Yeah, I used to scoot down to Toronto quickly to do a couple listings, and then like it actually just got too insane. So like, I feel like since 2019, it's just been like absurd.
You're longer on the road than you are probably at the actual visit.
Yeah. I would love to have an underground tunnel in the 401 and maybe not like an express like above. That would just be so ugly. but I hope maybe we can figure out some kind of tunneling thing.
They need to figure out something.
Seriously.
They need to figure out something.
Yeah,
For sure.
100%. It's just getting nasty. So we just stay in the Durham region too because of that as well.
And there's enough work out here. Durham Region's
Yes.
booming.
Yes.
So yeah, the next 10
Oh,
years,
yeah.
it's only gonna get busier out here.
Yeah, all the subdivisions being built.
Yeah.
Like everywhere from like Millbrook even. Like Millbrook is like doubling in size.
Yeah.
Newcastle is basically doubled in size. Bowmanville has like tripled and it's still going to continue going crazy.
And there's so much room to build north with the 407 going across now. So
Yes.
yeah, there's lots of opportunity here in Durham.
Yes. Yeah, they'll need to increase another lane on the 407 too.
Yeah.
I think we also have that free now too. That's so nice. Like,
Yeah, I know. It's a bit of a perk.
Do you do condos and stuff? Any high rises?
Yeah, we do renovations in condos. We did one last year. We usually do, one a year. It's not as common, but yeah, we do condos. It's
That's
and
cool.
again, that's something else we specialize in because there's a lot of rules to a condo board and working with superintendents and like the rules they have of the building. And so we're like at Paradisiac, we're all about the customer service and the client experience. So it's easy for us to adapt that to a condo living, making sure that the neighbors are good, make sure we're cleaning up, protecting the hallways, and and making the superintendent our friend. So we know how to do those steps so that we can make it for a smooth renovation.
Wicked. No, it's good. Yeah. Would you ever consider emergency restoration or just stick it to renovation?
Yeah, stick to renovations.
Yeah.
I have some friends that own restoration companies. It's a completely different animal.
Yeah.
Completely different. They're dealing with insurance companies. They're dealing with 24/7. They have to have a crew that can flux. So they have like co-ops where they can bring people in depending on what the emergency is in the middle of the night or wherever it is. Or if a big storm comes through and all of a sudden they got 30 calls.
Yes.
So yeah, that's not a model that,
Nice. No, that's
that I'm
good.
interested in.
Stick to the happy business. Just like with weddings, like doing photography and video, it's mostly happy. I think there's only one that didn't end up happy.
Well, it's funny because on the plumbing side, when people call us, they're not happy.
No,
no
that's
one calls
true.
us with a good thing.
Yeah.
So we're always on that, the client has a problem, something's going on, they're stressed. That is our calls.
Yes.
So, but we build a system around how to address that as best as possible.
That's great. And it goes back to you just, getting joy from helping people and making people happy, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
not only in our clients, but that's why I started the coaching business.
Wicked.
Because a big, just a bit of a backstory, a big crux in my Paradisiac journey, building this renovation company, I was like most owner operators, really struggling to figure it out. And it's tough. I had great guys working for me. I was able to figure out some systems and some processes, but the bigger it gets, it just becomes chaotic and you're putting out fires all day long, working 80 hours a week. And then in 2017, I remember we went through a bit of a downturn in 2016. It was weird. That's right before the housing market started taking off and it froze people. Do I move? Do I fix up? Do I sell? So renovations went down that year. And we went from 15 people down to 6 people. And so I was banging my head off the wall, stress through the roof, sleepless nights, being like, why can't I figure this out? So in 2017, I actually hired a mentor. I went down to New York City for a day and I paid this guy $2,500 American to follow him around for a day to see how he runs his business. And I met him at a trade show years before. And he was kind enough to have me out for the day. And he was in business for 30 years. He started off much like us, from a deck company into a renovation company. And the things that I learned from him were life-changing. The amount of the way to look at systems in a business, the way to set up processes and the training teams and just an entire, the entire journey of a client and how you can systemize it, it was life-changing. So I brought that information back. My team was on board. We developed things our way. And it was night and day change for Paradisiac. We doubled the next year and we have just been on a growth pattern pretty much ever since, with stress way down.
Oh, that's wild.
Way down.
Awesome.
So because that was so valuable to me, I am now at a point in my life where I want to share what I've learned. Because I work, especially I'm at arm's length with both my companies, I see tons of trades. I have lots of sub-trades I work with, and I see a lot of guys that used to be where I was, struggling. There's 2 main levels of pain points that I see in the contracting business. It's usually they're an owner operator. They might have 1 or 2 people working for them, but they're stuck on the tools and they're doing all the admin work and they're working 8 hours a week. And their wife and family is not happy with it and they're burning out. That's one level. The other level is when they have a little bit of a bigger company, they might have a team of people, but they are constantly putting fires out all day and they're still working, those 70 hours a week. And it's just chaos. They're making money, but it's just chaos. So those are the two areas. Those are the two most common like ceilings that contractors hit. And so I try to share everything that I learned in my journey, all the systems, how to develop systems, how to do training, how to just essentially make a science out of contracting, and how to like look at your contracting business as like a machine. And so we're no longer renovators or plumbers. We are building a renovation company. And that has probably been my most fulfilling journey that I've started, just sharing what I've learned with others.
That's awesome. That's wicked.
Yeah, really enjoy it.
Yeah. And if you help enough people, contractors figure out their workflow, you kind of raise the bottom line, and then the sentiment of a contractor maybe becomes more positive than
exactly.
In the past.
And like for like the last 10 years, like me and my team have been very on board with this. It's like we want to raise the bar in this industry, like because if you call 5 contractors, you're going to get 5 different prices, and you're going to have 5 very different experiences. And so that's why people are like, I don't know what to do. Like it really, really confuses people, and then they roll their dice. You hear lots of bad stories about contractors that don't follow through with what they're going to say they're going to do, because running a business is not like installing flooring. Those are 2 very different things. So the more people that I can help, and even like our sub trades that work for us, I try to encourage them. I try to give them tips on like how to systemize this a little bit better.
Wicked.
And because it's stressful being an owner.
Yeah, totally.
Running your own business.
Yes.
You have your own business. It's a lot to it. There's a lot to it.
Yeah, it's a scary leap going from, if you're either a solopreneur or husband, wife, or a couple employees, and just that growth though to get just peace of mind and have everything be squeaky clean and efficient.
Yeah.
And simplicity is a very difficult thing to
and
do.
it's like sequencing. What is the next move I should make?
Yeah.
What is the next hire I should make? How to properly sequence it? And there is a science to how you sequence it.
Right.
Which I had to figure out the hard way, trial and error. Took years, but now you can fast track that by just learning from someone who's done it before.
Well, that's great. Yeah, because these owners are like, this is their view right now, and
They're
but
in
you're
it.
coming in, you're like, step back, and then you can see the holes
Exactly.
in the picture. That's
Exactly.
wild. What does it look like for someone to reach out to you, and how deep do you go in the personalization? Would you go to their warehouse and see like how everything is, or is it more online? Or
It's so the coaching program I set up. So I kind of developed a program. It's called the Contractor Success Method, and so I've essentially took all of the systems that I use and formalized them, which has been great because these are things that we've been inherently doing, and now I can actually put it to a lesson, put it to a structure that I can share with others. And I do lots of like just intake calls, chatting to guys about business. Probably for like the last 10 years, I would get a call probably at least once a week from another contractor, just wanted to go for coffee and like pick my brain. And I love doing that. I always made time for it. That was probably one of the things I enjoyed the most. So last year I officially formalized it into like a program. And so yeah, it's an online call that we do once a week. And then I also do offline calls, one-on-one, digging into their exact business. But I always teach a lesson and then go through question and answers of what they're dealing with at this moment. That way it's always top of mind, and we do it weekly so that they're like, okay, this week I'm dealing with this. Like, what should I do? And then I kind of like coach them through it.
oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, no,
Super smart.
it's how you can literally like if you have like a 5-year goal, you can shave it down to 1 year by just knowing how to do it in the right order.
Yes.
And what to focus on, what not to focus on.
Wicked.
Makes all the difference.
Yes, I was going to ask you for just a little nugget to give people, and I think that's a good one. That's a really good one because we don't want to give the whole training program.
No,
away.
I don't mind. I'll give it all the way. I'll give it all the way. I'd say probably the most important piece of the contractor success method is the contracting systems loop. So it's how, because a lot of tradespeople, they're in their work, they're great with their hands, they can do amazing work, and they're either stuck in the tools or they're putting out every fire. They don't know how to systemize this so that they can take a step back and just have it run. So the contractor success loop is all about how to develop systems in your business and how to start from the beginning. If you don't have any systems, chances are most contracting businesses already have systems. They just don't even know it, or it's not formalized. So we start off by laying out and documenting the entire client's journey. This is the easiest way to do it. From the moment they call you to the moment you pick up the last check. And what you do is you write down every step that the client goes through, right from that first call. And then you start itemizing in that one task what needs to be done. So when that call comes in, what happens? What do you say? What questions do you ask? What information do you gather? How do you schedule the appointment? What are the next steps? Like, you document it. And then you do that through every single task, and then you take a look at it and see, what do I need to take off my plate? Because as the owner of the business, we should only be working on the most valuable tasks in our business. It's not worth it for me to be answering the phones or like figuring out, going back and forth with clients, chasing them to book an appointment. That is not something that an owner should be doing. Those are low value tasks that you can delegate. Get an office admin, get an EA that can handle all that. And then what that does is that frees up time of the owner to reinvest that time back into the most valuable tasks they should be doing. Whether that could still be on the tools at this point, producing, that's the money they need to be making. They shouldn't be spending the time answering phone calls when they should be, doing plumbing or whatever that is. So they can reinvest in it, they can build more systems, they can work on the next constraint in their business, and then it just grows from there. But you have to start off at the beginning.
Nice, wicked, full-blown blueprint. That's awesome, wicked.
Yeah,
and
step by step.
Huge audit too. Like you're coming in there and you're just completely inspecting every process from beginning to end. That's very smart.
Yeah.
Here's a good question. Any use of AI, and also part B to this question, what's it like when a client comes up to you and they generated an AI room and they're like, I want you to do that?
Actually, I don't mind that because before AI, we were getting photos of like, look at this living room in California in this $5 million home.
Of course.
I like that. It's like, okay, well, half those products aren't going to work here in Canada, and that's $1 million renovation. So we used to get lots of inspiration pictures from like mansions in the States. It's like, okay, let's bring this down to Oshawa.
Yeah,
nice.
Yes,
but let's bring it down to Canada. So I don't mind the AI stuff because the AI is very conceptual. Like it's not telling us this is the molding profile, this is the flooring, but we can still work off of that. But as far as AI integration, I'm a big believer in AI. It's rapidly changing us, and right now it's an amazing tool that we can use. And like a lot of contractors, they feel safe. We're going to be one of the last businesses that are going to be overly affected or disrupted by AI. But it's still an amazing tool that can separate us. So I have my whole team working on ChatGPT and Claude for what their different strengths are. And we've started off, we've been using it for a couple of years now, but it even started off by just like auditing our own stuff. Like when my estimator would complete a scope of work, he'd put it into ChatGPT to get him to grade him on it. What's missing, just to kind of like use as a filter against our own work.
Yes.
But now we're getting into more automations and stuff like that. Like I built my website with Claude, which was incredible.
Claude's quite crazy.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's pretty much my go-to now.
Yes.
Especially with like the browser extension for like doing like agent stuff.
Yeah.
I'm using Manus as well.
Oh yeah.
Which is pretty cool too, I guess, especially for the browser capabilities. So like for an example, I don't have to watch YouTube videos anymore. So I would tell Manus, go watch this YouTube video. And it was a video tube on creative directoring, how to hire a creative director for your business.
Oh, nice.
I said, watch this YouTube video and create an SOP for me. And so it just goes and does that. I don't have to watch an hour and a half long YouTube video anymore.
Excellent. Yes. And for those that don't know SOP, standard operating procedure.
Yes.
I learned this like a month ago.
Playbooks. I call them playbooks because we're
Nice.
a team and this is our playbook. Or SOP.
Great. Awesome. I think you said it. Like AI is an assistant and a team player. That can augment the experience, right? As well, just big time, yeah. I'm very excited for the time when Claude or whatever AI is going to be able to just like. Our biggest bottleneck right now is video editing specifically, because we do sometimes like 10 real estate listings a day, and we just need like we have a team overseas that actually will do it, like a whole team, like a dozen people to help us. But then there's back and forth with revisions and quality control, and we just want it to be right, like done like the first time, and or just like done quickly, right? Because then we send back revisions, and then we gotta wait. And then the clients are always asking like, hey, how's the video coming along?
Oh, yeah, because real estate, it's mostly real estate, right? And
Yes.
they want it the next day.
Yes.
So it's,
So that's why April Fools, I did a skit where I actually bought a fax machine off of Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
And I did a skit where it was a fax time machine. And I printed photos on a piece of paper, and I announced April Fools that now we can send the photos into the past. Because real estate agents would be like, hey, I need you to do this listing. I need the photos yesterday. They'd always joke, sometimes. And so then I took that very seriously, and I made a fax time machine to send those photos in the past for them.
I wouldn't be surprised if most real estate agents still have a fax machine in their office.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. My dad was like, I got a fax machine if you want to use it. But I wanted like a really like 80s looking
Old
fax
one,
machine.
Oh, amazing.
I found it. It's like Brother, it's called, like the model.
Yeah.
I never even heard of this brand before, but I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with the brand Brother, I guess.
Yeah, it's a common. I have a
Yeah.
brother printer.
There you go.
It's a common brand.
Oh yeah,
It's a
yeah.
common brand.
I just know HP Print and Canon. And
So
things like
are
that.
you using AI in other areas of your business?
Yeah, I think there's definitely some things. Like for instance, for this podcast, there's like a huge amount of assistance that we get. There's one thing called Eddie AI, EDDIE AI. There's 3 videos, right? 1, 2, 3. And technically, there's 2 audio channels, but we just we do record this 2 audio channels, but then there's also another one that's like stereo wave still, but combined in a single clip. So Eddie will take all 3 video angles and the audio as a base layer and choose who's talking and cut to it, and then spit out like something that I can drag and drop into my editing program and just refine a little bit further. But I never need to refine it even further, so it's good to go. And something that would
Probably
take
cuts a lot of time off.
yes, something that would essentially take all day to do is now done in 15 minutes.
Incredible.
And then Opus Clip is super cool. Opus Clip, out of like a dozen different competitors, Opus Clip is the best thing to use to go from long format to short format. So like for something like this, that's an hour or 2. You throw it into Opus Clip, it analyzes it for up to 30 minutes or quicker, and it spits out like up to 50 short videos.
Wow.
And the accuracy, it comes back with accuracy scores as well, and it's already got titles and descriptions ready to go, and you can even auto post it and auto schedule it into YouTube, Instagram, Facebook within Opus Clip as well.
Opus AI?
Opus Clip.
Opus Clip.
Yeah, OPUS Clip. And that's what we're going to be using for this.
Okay.
And like you'll see it's insane. Like
Yeah, so it's an amazing tool.
Yes.
It's an amazing tool.
AI is great.
And you know what? It's moving so quickly, and there's so many different options out there, and it can be overwhelming. So I always encourage people, like, stick to 1 or 2 and learn it well. You can't learn them all.
Yes.
Because, you know what, we were learning ChatGPT really well, and it's almost now by the wayside. Now Claude's out, and who knows in 6 months what is going to be better.
Yes.
So we can't put all our eggs in one basket, but we also can't learn everything.
Yes.
Just get used to using it.
That's right. Yes. And there are some caution though to you. You know, I keep seeing online, like there was like one restaurant that used, it was really cool. I think it was Seed Dance, if I'm not mistaken, Seed Dance 2.0. Which is a Chinese video generator, right? But it's also integrated into what editing program? CapCut.
Okay.
Yeah, super cool. But so like he got like a burger patty, and then AI generated it flipping in the air, and like the camera angle went up like this. It was
that's
really
cool.
cool, and like that hooked people's attention. But then like the rest of the 1 minute video was just like more AI and more craziness, and people were just like, "Oh, AI slop. You got me on the first one, but now it's just too much."
Yeah.
So maybe it can be used like for specifically marketing, like to hook people.
Yeah.
And then like that's it though. Like just like lay off the AI a little bit, put some real effort into that after the fact, because people are very smart. Consumers are very smart, and they want to see effort as opposed to I guess like cutting corners.
Exactly.
So to speak, right?
Yeah. Well, no, like it's going through your Instagram feed, and it's like AI. It's going to catch you for a second. Then you're like, okay, I'm getting sick of seeing just AI stuff.
Yes,
I
exactly.
want to see a person.
Yeah.
Talking.
Yeah. Even with we do twilight conversions where we take a photo of a home outside the house, and it'll be blue sky or gray sky, overcast, and we just click a button and it does like a beautiful sunset.
Oh, cool.
Like before, like a few years ago, it used to be really bad. It'd be like purple sky and like it looks like northern lights. It's like not realistic.
Yeah.
Now it's like pretty good.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that looks like it was shot at sunset, and the color and everything's perfect. All the lights on the house are on. And all the pot lights are on. It's really cool. Even then, though, people like one person commented AI slop, and I'm like, what are you, like, come on, man. It's not. It was
just like it was like a filter, an AI filter almost.
Yeah. So we're gonna enter the age of the robotic AI rebellion, and people will be sick of it. But I think it'll end up being a good thing. In the end.
You can't. It's not wise to just like stick your head in the sand and hope it goes away.
Yeah.
Like we have to learn it.
Yeah, of course. Yes. And hopefully it'll end up with, I don't know, like who knows, maybe hopefully universal advanced income. Not a fan of basic, but maybe advanced where we can just have anything we want. But I don't know. That's just like totally like, yeah, next level thinking.
Advanced in
Yeah, universal
never
advanced income. Check it out. It's pretty interesting. It's essentially like a world of abundance where like you could technically have anything you want. And this might be like 50 years down the road, right? And there's going to be some massive like societal shifts and everything too. It's just a theory. It's a theory, but it's good to know. It's like, okay, that's one potential theory, and there's a dozen other potential theories that could happen, right? Or you know. Scenarios. And so the universal advanced income is exactly as you think it is. Everyone makes $1 million a year, essentially, technically, or there's no concept of money. And you can just like have, I want a Lamborghini, sure. Fabricate the Lamborghini in a warehouse, and now everyone can have a fast car.
Wow.
Or, you know, something like that. You know, that's just one silly example. But you know, hopefully that's like, of course, that's like Star Trek kind of like, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. I like merit. I like building a life
Me
off
too,
merit.
yes. Yeah, not everyone deserves a damn Lamborghini, though.
Everyone wants one.
That's true. That's a good point. Maybe Ferraris or Porsches. Awesome, man. So what else is happening, you know, right now especially? We're going into spring market. Things are happening. We're finally out of hibernation from winter. You're probably getting lots of calls as of like a month ago or even earlier.
Yeah, so my plate is full. So aside from the 3 businesses, I'm also the president of the Oshawa Chamber of Commerce this year.
Oh, amazing! Congratulations.
So, thanks.
That's huge.
So that's a really good opportunity because you know the Chamber of Commerce is meant for business, and sometimes it's an old institution.
Yes.
Sometimes it loses its way. So I'm able to bring it back, being like, okay, let's encourage business.
Good for you.
Entrepreneurs have a tough time. Let's encourage them.
That's wicked. Yeah.
But back to your question on the work side of things, like with this rain today and stuff like that we're getting, plumbing business is very, very busy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, water in the basements, sump pumps,
Right.
and you know, just water getting into the home.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of calls right now. On the Paradisiac side, we're pretty steady year round. I do a lot of marketing. You know, I'm always doing initial consultations, sales calls, but that's pretty consistent.
Yes.
Like there are little highs and lows typically with around the seasons. Spring's usually a little bit busier, fall's a little bit busier, but it's pretty consistent.
Wicked.
But the plumbing definitely has season events where it's pretty steady year round because you know you never know when your drain's going to get clogged. But with these events like the spring rain, really makes it for a busy time.
Wicked, yeah. Very recession proof, which is good for business.
Do you
of
have
course.
any ups and downs like with your business?
Yeah, absolutely. And we see downs as opportunities, though, right? So, for instance, like a down could be December's dead. But you know what? Then we just go on vacation. And like, you know, we've got a crew that can handle and hold the fort, and then we'll be back, right? And, you know, we'll have Christmas here, and that's all.
Yeah.
So
Does it follow the real estate ups, highs and lows?
big time,
Yeah.
yes. And it's interesting, though, because actually in a tough market where it's a buyer's market, that actually helps us in our favor. I think so most of the time, because we're seeing this year real estate agents who may only get photos and a floor plan are now also getting, you know what, I need to stand out than what I typically do because everyone's getting a video now.
Yep.
Oh, and they're getting drone for like a property that may not necessarily need drone, but there's a few schools around the area and some parks and, you know, like in a seller's market, they sell like hotcakes, these homes,
Yeah, they
right?
don't put the
it's
effort into it.
I want photos only. Give me your bare minimum package. It's going to sell anyways. I'm just doing it to make the clients happy, which is awful. But you know, so technically, it depends though. Like some real estate agents, just like, no, I want photo, video, drone, Instagram reel, twilight shoot for every single one of my listings, and we love them. And that's kind of part of their sell factor too when they go to a presentation.
For sure.
And like there's 10 other real estate agents competing for that selling listing. When a real estate agent comes in and says, I'm going to give you drone floor plans and this and that. But the next guy's like, oh yeah, I take photos on my phone.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're all charging the same commission.
Yes.
So it's like who can do more. So it makes sense.
Mostly. Some people will come in with 1% or even less. But that's what you pay for.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's good. It's good that buyer's market makes you busier and people and the real estate agents put more effort into selling homes. So they should.
Yes. Yeah. It's pretty funny. It's pretty cool.
It's good. It's good for the clients.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so, you know, lots of uncertainty this year as well too, though.
Yeah.
Right. So I think,
Constant uncertainty.
Yeah.
It's ongoing.
yeah, we just pulled the trigger on a beautiful pool into our backyard.
Nice.
You know, yeah, we just made that decision last night, and we're still like, was that the right decision? But we were like, whatever, like, let's just be happy.
Who's doing the pool for you?
Taunton Pools is doing the pool, and then we've got Burke's Landscaping doing the some of the hardscaping and interlocking, just like an initial phase, and then we're gonna do like a really heavier phase with them the following year.
Yeah. So you're just getting until you can start using a pool because
Yes.
you spend 50, 60 grand on a pool, you can have 100 grand in landscaping. So you have to,
Yes.
you can phase it out.
Yeah, and you have experience from that world too.
Yeah.
And well, what were some of the reasons to get out of it though? Was it?
It was mostly the seasonality.
Yeah.
That was the toughest part. I enjoyed I love designing decks. I love building decks. That's what I did for so many years. That's kind of like where my heart was in the carpentry world. But back in what were we saying, 2010, 2015, there used to be a show called Decked Out
Oh, cool.
with a short little guy, Paul LaFrance.
Okay.
And it was on TV, it was on HTV, and it kind of gave people an idea of, wow, what you can do with a deck. Because before that, landscaping, like people had no problem spending 100 grand on landscaping. That was a norm for the last 40 years, but not for decks. Usually the deck was a very small piece of their whole backyard. But this show brought a lot of awareness among no, the deck can be like your main feature. So we built some incredible decks, curves, and we used to have a curve bending system and a machine where other deck companies would hire us to come and bend boards for them. So it got really interesting, really cool designs. And but again, it was seasonal.
Yes.
The winters were tough.
Yes.
Feast or famine. So we had to find something that bridged, and renovations was the natural fit.
Yeah, totally. Good thinking. That's very smart. Yeah, and landscaping is definitely a tricky business. I remember my parents doing it 25 years ago, a full interlocking front and back driveway and backyard, and that was like 25,000. And I was like, back then that was like, oh, that's a lot
of money.
But now it's like that would be like almost
front walkway.
Yeah,
yeah. Things got expensive. Well, COVID didn't help with that.
No,
like this type of work probably went up 20-25% since COVID.
Right. Yes.
Things
yes.
skyrocketed.
Yeah. You need the diamond cutter too, and you need to be placing it right and everything right. So yeah. And materials are just out of control.
Materials expensive. Yes. Good labor. Top people are expensive, and they're worth it, but it's just adding to the cost.
Of course.
Of getting things done right.
Yeah. You got to do right.
It's worth it though. You're investing in your home. It's worth it.
Do you coach outside of renovations and any other businesses?
So trades.
Trade-based.
Awesome. Amazing. So plumbers, electricians, HVAC, anything really that's a home service-based business.
Perfect.
When it's dealing with clients, offering a service, whatever that is, then that is my wheelhouse because I know what those systems look like.
Wicked. Well, that's good. Awesome.
And you know what? Have you ever read the book E-Myth? Michael Gerber?
No.
This was one of the first books I read, and it's like a classic. It's like a classic fundamental book on how to structure and systemize a business. And they actually came out with one for contractors. It came out with one for a couple different industries, but the original, the E-Myth Revisited, was such a great book. And that always stuck in my mind. When I read that book years and years ago, I was like, okay, yeah, take a step back, and there's a way to systemize your business. And so I am just a big advocate of how to do that, because that is the only way to get yourself off the tools. It's the only way to get yourself out of the daily pain is by building your people up, training them, building the systems, and also employees are usually the number one issue that contractors have, or any business really, finding good help.
Yes.
But it really comes down to attracting the right help, but then also how you treat them within the business. And when I mean treating them, I don't mean just getting them pizza once a week or anything like that. It's like giving them an ownership mentality. And the top people, the best people out there that you can bring on your team, you got to treat them like owners. And so what you need to do is you need to be very clear on what your outcomes are. They can't win if they don't know what winning looks like. So you have to be able to show them what their position looks like when they win. And then you give them autonomy to do it. So these are the outcomes I need, and you give them autonomy, because you don't want to be a micromanager. You don't want to be focused on every single task and step they do. You want to give them the power to do it even their way. But this is the outcome we need. And then you give them the autonomy to figure it out themselves. And obviously you coach them along the way and make sure they're not making too many mistakes, but that's part of it. And then you give them, you have to reward them. So measuring, I'm big on measuring. We have scorecards for both companies, and we want our guys to know not only what winning looks like, but opportunities that they can have, make more money when they overexceed what those measurables are, whatever they are. And then that way, again, it adds to their ownership. So now they're like, okay, not only am I in control of doing this to get the outcome, but if I can figure out a way to do it better, if I can make the client happier, whatever those scorecard metrics are, then I can get bonus pay. And so what you do is you end up creating this whole machine where everyone's rowing the same way, everyone's building the company, everyone's goals are based on the company's goals. I'm also a big believer in just goals in general. So like I like to know what all my staff's goals are because I want to build a company that can, that can carry all their goals. Because if you don't have the opportunity for them, they're going to go find a company that can provide the opportunity. So the company's goals need to be big enough that you can support everyone else's goals. And then you give them the mechanism within that company on how to achieve those financial goals or freedom goals, whatever they are.
Yes.
Whatever they are.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And that is how you not only attract, but you can retain amazing people. And I'm very fortunate at both companies that have great staff, like hands down the best team.
That's awesome. Good for you, man. That's unreal. No, big congrats to that. And clearly you're a great speaker and you speak in front of crowds and things like that.
So,
you're the president of the Oshawa Chamber.
Yeah, being the Oshawa Chamber, you know what? And it's just practice. I'm just trying to get more and more opportunities, more practice doing. I'm doing a bunch of outreaches. My office manager, Sarah, she's doing a bunch of outreaches for me because back in 2017, when I met that mentor that I paid, I met him at a convention. It was called the Remodeling Show and Deck Expo. It's good every year. And they always have like workshops and like sessions where you can hear people speak about certain topics. And that's where I met this guy and he changed my business. So I want to do that. I want to be able to give back and I want to be able to help other contractors to go to these seminars. So we're doing a bunch of outreaches at all these different trade shows that happen through the States to get on some stages just so I can share what I'm learning, share what I built and help others.
That's awesome. Very cool. I have a lot of experience with the Whitby Chamber of Commerce. I used to, like way back in 2012, I actually started there doing some work for them, like covering events, golf course, events and things like that. And Connect Women was a big one that they still do at the Ajax Convention Center. And I think maybe it's elsewhere now too. I think a lot of people are now going to the Durham Convention Center, which is super cool. The really nice one.
Where's that one?
That's in Ajax as well, but it's massive. It's like a true scaled hall.
Really?
That's like, huge.
I haven't been to it yet.
Yeah, very, very cool. You'll probably see a lot of events come up as people become aware of it, literally, right? It's very cool.
Because we have a really nice hall that's fairly new too. For the Oshawa Chamber, we do a lot at the Harmony Event Center.
Oh, amazing.
And it's big, beautiful banquet hall. And like before that was built, it was like Deer Creek or Ajax Convention Center, like the typical one. So it's nice to have the options.
Right in Oshawa,
right
too,
in town.
Right? So that's great. Amazing. Awesome. How can people find you in general and for each of you, everything that's going on?
So I would direct everyone to my personal Instagram account. It's at Ben Shelley _.
Yes.
And then there's links to both my businesses on there. But I also like want to have, if you have any contractors listening to you that feel like, this is something that might be able to help them, follow me on Instagram, send out a DM and just say like systems. Send me the word systems and I will send you the actual document that I use to build the systems in my company. And I'll just give that away.
Amazing. A lot of value that you can provide people. People would be very, very silly and unfortunate to not take advantage of what you're about to be offering them.
Well, you know what? It's all about learning.
Yes.
We read books. And reading books is great, but to have someone who's been through exactly what you're going through and is where you may want to be, learn from them. I try to learn. I have 2 mentors. I learn as much as I can from others. So awesome, I'm just giving back.
Good for you, man. What I like to ask this question too to some people. What could you tell yourself from however long ago if you were starting a business? What's like a couple pieces of advice beyond just I find yourself being very much like an architect. Like your pre-planning is quite it's over 9,000, right? And so, what could you say though to your younger self, even just everything, whether it was holistic, spiritual, or mentally,
Well, one big piece of advice that I got was, but this was after 15 years of being in business. One big piece I got was focus on customer service and the money will follow. Don't focus on the money. Focus on what you're building and how it solves people's problems and they're happy about it. So fortunately, I was kind of already on that path, but that really secured it for me, being like, okay, everything we're building needs to benefit the customer. That's how we increase our value, and that's how we increase what we charge. But what would I tell myself when I was younger? When I first started, I probably would have told myself to hire a coach day one to learn how to build the systems, because you get into the weeds and it's hard to get out of those weeds. And then you just get into this pain loop for years, and it gets harder and harder to get out of without pulling back and shrinking your company or whatever that looks like. So learning the science to business, learning the systems, I wish I had learned much earlier in my business career.
Interesting. Yeah. For anyone that wants to join the Oshawa Chamber, What are
Yeah.
some things you can direct them to?
So just go to the website. I think there's an application right on there. You can send Isabel an email. Be happy to have you. But and again, the value add for the Oshawa Chamber, much like the Whippy Chamber, we're trying to support the business community. A lot of people, a lot of new Canadians, they're starting businesses. A lot of people have been here for a long time starting businesses, and it's difficult. Whether it's a restaurant or coffee shop or IT company, whatever it is, it's tough. It's tough starting a business in a town that you may not be that familiar with. Oshawa Chamber is a great place to network, to meet the people in the town who become a familiar face, get your name out there, and also just learn from people in the group that might have a business similar to yours that's further along, just to learn from them. And lots of networking is probably the number one. We do a lot of advocating to the to the government on behalf of what's happening in our town, which is also very important. It gives us a voice to be able to speak to the government, but holistically, the networking, the events, becoming a familiar face is the best way to get value out of it. It's kind of like going to the gym.
Yes.
You can't just get a membership and never go. You have to go, put the work in, and it will pay you back.
Yes, to get the benefits of it, of course. Yeah. Oshawa has become a really cool place, even in the past 10, 20 years,
Oh,
There's
yeah.
so much expansion. Ontario Tech, formerly UOIT.
Yeah, we're no longer like a GM town. We're now like
Yeah.
a university town.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. And one of the biggest things that I love that's happening in Oshawa is the Convergence Festival that the Chamber and Tourism puts on. It's in September. It's downtown Oshawa. They shut the streets down. They have a big concert.
Oh,
So
sweet.
they've done it 3 years in a row now. And the first year they did it was Strumbellas, and it was
Cool.
It was awesome.
Sweet.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we got Bond Street Events, which is a
Bond Street's
wicked,
an amazing venue.
amazing venue. And it's great. It's
I
coming along.
There's something really cool about going and seeing a concert, a band that you really like right here in town.
Yes.
You don't have to go to Toronto for it. I love that. Bond
Yeah.
Street, and even when they have concerts at the Tribute Center. I love it.
Yeah, we went to the car museum downtown Oshawa a few weeks ago. Our 20-month-old daughter, one of her favorite movies is Cars, the Disney movie Cars. We've seen Cars 1, 2, and 3 in the TV show about 50 times each. And it's so funny. She likes boy things like Batman and Cars.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so we had, because they have Lightning McQueen, the red car, the main character that Owen Wilson voices at the Oshawa Museum.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like a life-size scale of Lightning McQueen and red, really, really cool.
Kids will love that.
Yeah, and oh boy, our daughter Diana, it was like meeting her hero.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's cool they have it there. 'Cause
Yes.
It's like a history museum, isn't it?
yeah, it's funny. So Disney kind of set up to have it there. A few years ago, or maybe a little bit longer ago, and then they just never called to pick it up.
They forgot about it.
It's just been there. Yeah, it's really cool. The one of the museum, I guess, guides, super friendly guy. I couldn't get away from him. Actually, he was just throwing all this knowledge on me, and it was great, of course. But he's obviously incredibly passionate and knowledgeable on every single car in that warehouse, and it's a great
cool.
time. Yeah,
That's cool. There's another cool museum that I just found about.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a tank museum in
Oh,
Oshawa.
yes.
And we did a chamber event there a couple weeks ago, and I've never been there before. It's way up Stevenson Road, out of the way, something you don't drive by. And I was blown away. They have the largest tank collection in the world or something, or the tanks that actually work.
Yes.
Functioning tanks.
Right. Yeah.
Crazy. They had a huge warehouse. I'm not a war guy by any means, but the history in there and seeing this stuff was pretty cool. I didn't know that was in Oshawa.
Yes.
So there's lots to to do in town
from the manufacturing of other vehicles, not just tanks, but I think there's a couple Shermans in there, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
yeah.
Either. But again, the guys there know everything about it.
Yeah.
They know the whole history. Of
I had the
World War I.
privilege of riding in a tank at the Tank Museum in
really?
Oshawa during COVID. There was a Canada Day, and I was actually I was honored to have filmed and be contracted to produce and edit the Canada Day video that everyone was going to watch because it wasn't happening in person because of COVID at the time. And unfortunately, literally a few days before Canada Day, they pulled the plug because it was also the time when a lot of the truth and reconciliation things were coming out.
Yep.
Yeah. So it was kind of we're canceling Canada Day, and it's such an awful thing in my opinion, I think. But maybe it was
Yeah, that was a weird time. See, I have a
Yeah.
Indigenous background, and like my mother went through the schooling system and avoided schooling system, so I have like a little bit of history when it comes to that. But like Canada, I don't even like they reacted to that situation in like full scale, and it really did kind of like confuse things.
Right. Totally. Yeah.
Where people's like alliances are landing, and what do we do about it?
Right.
And
Like I think maybe like Canada Day, but then like if something like huge like this happens, of course, like maybe put in like a time slot to address it and talk about it during like Canada Day celebration. Or something,
exactly. It's
right.
you know what? Like every country has a bad history to some degree, but you can't erase history. We just gotta learn from it.
That's true. It's a good point. Yeah. Wow. And that's incredible. Yeah. Coming from, and I know it goes so much deeper than just what you've said on the surface. Like, of course, mixed emotions, I'm sure, and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's powerful coming from you. A couple other little side questions for you. So Paradisiac is how I've been pronouncing it, but I know that's wrong because I've heard you say it a few times now.
Yeah, don't worry. No one can pronounce it right. It's Paradisiac.
Paradisiac.
Kind of like mosaic. Paradisiac. It's a tongue twister. So I was young, like when I started, and I didn't want to call it Ben's Landscaping. So my brother actually saw it in a home and garden magazine. It's a real word. It has like a Latin descent, and it was describing a backyard. It means like paradise conditions.
Oh, cool.
And so when I started, we were doing decks and landscaping, and my motto was create your own personal paradise. It was Paradisiac. I just wanted it to sound different, but I didn't realize that no one was going to be able to say it ever. And by the time it was like, it was too late.
Oh, well.
So I went with it. And here we are.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's okay. Well, I'm glad that we've got it officially secured in history forever now. And this is one of the things I really love doing this is like your future generations will be going back and being like, wow, like, great grandpa Ben was on a podcast back when they were still filming with cameras.
Yeah,
you're
right.
Who knows what they're going to talk about.
No, you're right.
So it's,
but you know what? It's funny. Along that same lines is why I like recording like all of my business information. Like when I do my coaching calls, everything's recorded because I want to build a huge library for my kids one day.
Amazing.
If you ever want to,
Yes.
because I have a stepson and I have a 15-year-old son. It's like if you ever want to start a business, here is all my videos. It'll eventually I'm on YouTube and being like, you can figure it all out. This is what dad taught.
Nice. Are you on the YouTube hustle as well?
No, I'm not. I'm getting onto it though.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, that's
excellent.
the next step. I'm getting into YouTube.
There's a couple awesome things to drop on you. There's VidIQ. Check it out. And you'll get prompted for a lifetime 50% off at like $9 a month.
Really?
Which is super cool.
VidIQ, you writing this down?
VidIQ. Well, yeah. So it is like the single best thing to use to just get title and description and hash or tag recommendations.
Okay.
And to like just create and prompt ideas and just to keep you like it's like buying a car without a steering wheel. Like
yeah,
that's
exactly.
VidIQ is the steering wheel for YouTube. And
okay, that's good to know because like every platform has like a science to it, and I don't know the YouTube one, so that's gonna be a great help. But like, I'm still learning Instagram's like science behind it, and there's a lot to learn.
You've got like a definitely blueprint architect mind, so you'll love it. They've got a nice little short videos to watch as well too. That'll just give you everything in super simple language to understand it and like what to do and like. Not just going beyond hooks and like really understanding like here's what works with YouTube and here's how to get to like 1 million.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Good to know.
Super cool, man.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna start doing long format soon. Just again,
there you go.
Business lessons.
Excellent, 100%. And it's coming back. Long format, no editing. There's the Mr. Beast method, which is like explosions and retention editing, right? Or there's like passive editing is what I call it. Maybe it's got a different word. Where it's just like you're just talking to a camera. And sure, you could use AI and put B-roll footage and stuff over top, or it can just be you talking on camera the entire time. And people like that because it's just what you're saying matters.
Yeah, as long as you're giving value,
than the explosions.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah, man. And fast lane plumbing is just because you guys respond quick. I'm assuming.
Well, my partner Phil, his last name is Lane.
Oh, there you go.
So he's like, let's call it fast lane. And it's funny when we were talking to the guy helping us build our brand. He's like, well, you better be the fastest company in town if you're going to call it fast lane. So, fortunately, we're able to spawn very quickly, but it's because it's the last name.
That's wicked. Yeah. It's bad you guys can't have like sirens and like push people aside.
Put cherries on top. That's not a bad idea.
That's hilarious. And you got some really nice ink as well. I see the face of a lion on it too.
Yeah,
beautiful.
It's a tribute to my son. My son has autism, so I have like puzzle pieces. I have a bunch of different tributes to him.
Yeah.
I'm also I'm 10% nerd, and I'm a big fan of Legend of Zelda. And
Sick, dude.
I grew up with
Oh,
video
there's
games.
Link. Yeah, I see him.
So I got a bunch of Zelda tattoos, and tributes to my dog.
Ah,
The
beautiful.
mountains. I'm an avid snowboarder.
Oh, cool.
And we travel a lot. So wherever
Sick.
we go to a new country, we get a tattoo of that country, or like
nice.
something memorable from there.
That's a great, and you're not going to lose it either. When you put like a stamp on your suitcase, sometimes you lose them.
Or like in my passport, I have to get my passport redone. I'm gonna lose all the stamps.
Yeah, I'll tell you before we go. We're pretty good on time. So my wife Abby, she traveled to like 30 different countries, and her passport was like
Filled out.
filled. And then one time she lost it though. So you know what I did for her birthday? I literally, like, this is almost like we're like married with children, but this is almost borderline like stalkerish, where I went into like email history and found when she arrived to countries and like what days, and I photoshopped and printed at Staples a fake passport that looked
really?
very fake. It's not like anything
yeah.
real looking, but it had like, hole punches and a binder. And I literally recreated like
All the stamps from
all
those
the
places?
stamps and like I don't know where they were in the position, but I at least got the countries and dates right, and then gave that to her for a memory.
That's actually a
And
very
then-
creative,
Thanks,
thoughtful
man.
gift.
Thank you. Yeah, the
Took a little snooping,
The
I
ladies
guess.
at Staples were just like awestruck, like because like it looked like I'm printing a passport. Like, what are you doing?
This idea you
But
see,
then they're like, "Aw," and all that.
That's a
Yeah,
great
yeah,
gift.
That was a very good gift. Yeah.
oh, that's unfortunate to lose.
I know.
Something like that.
I know, right? But that's okay. She's got it now.
Good.
Dude, anything else
Yeah.
that comes to mind? We talked about a lot.
Well, when I came across your
Oh, yeah.
podcast,
Yes.
People of Durham. So tell me the backstory of this.
Thanks, man. So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to do something philanthropic for and give people, kind of like the hot seat, but like in a good way. Maybe we'll do a roast version. No, I'm just kidding.
I like that.
Yeah, that might be pretty fun. We thought about doing like maybe like comedy nights here too. There's actually a few comedians locally, but anyway, so for this, I just want to give people an opportunity to like legends like yourself. Like, look what you've done. You've built an impressive business, and you're helping other contractors. You truly are a community leader. You're literally a leader, not only president of the Oshawa Chamber of Commerce, but you're helping other contractors, small businesses in many great ways, and that. I love the Durham region. I really, really love the Durham region. I think it actually truly is one of the best places to live. Like on the east side of Toronto.
Absolutely.
Toronto's a great city, but I don't like living in the city unless like maybe you've got like a condo and you go see a game and you don't got to go too far to go home and stay the night if you're lucky enough to live like that.
Yep.
But I think like just living in the burbs, like where
Yeah.
we are in the Durham region, is beautiful. We're not far from like going to like Anaraska Forest or anything like that.
I agree.
Yeah, and so anything that I can do to help make the Durham region just a better place to live, and maybe a contractor finds out about you, and then that changes his business, and he ends up having a happy family because of that. Like it's a ripple effect, and so something like this can really change people's
help with
lives.
connecting.
Yeah.
The people of Durham. Yeah,
That's
no,
right.
it makes sense.
That's right, man.
That's great.
Yeah. So anything I can do to help with that. And that's
Yeah,
what
no,
we're
I
here to
appreciate
do.
it.
Thanks, man. Thanks for coming on the show. Probably gonna have you come back. You're a great speaker, and especially with the Oshawa Chamber of Commerce. How long is like that term for?
So it's technically a year term.
Oh, yeah.
But we just changed our bylaws. So we used to do it calendar dates, like from January to December a
Yes.
year. But now we're doing the trade off to the next president at our next AGM, which is not going to
nice.
be until like next April. So my tenure is going to be a little bit longer than normal, which
Gotcha.
is fine, but it's usually in a year.
That's all right. Yeah, I thought you were gonna say like, yeah, now it's a monarchy, and I am the king for like until I die.
Until I get dethroned. No, I don't want to do it that
No,
long.
of course not. That's awesome. Yes, of course.
But it's
awesome.
great. Yeah, you get to meet the lost people in the community and the business community.
Yes.
And in the counselors and like just other business leaders. It's great connecting.
Wicked, man.
Great networking.
Awesome. It was really great to meet you.
Yeah,
man,
thanks a lot,
too.
Basil.
And yeah, man. Yeah, we'll have you back on too.
sounds
Awesome,
good.
bro. Thank you.
Thank you.